guess who's left the remote control in the workshop, the old workshop, the bike shed? Me! Right, so part 2, we're continuing on with this giant Fathom. If you remember last time, we discovered the axle was bent, the bearings had gone, the freewheel had gone. There's possibly some issues going on with that. The chain's worn, the front brake, the back brake wasn't working at all, the front brake had got some air in it. So what we actually did last time, quick recap, we completely flushed the back brake out, re-oiled it, got all the air out of it. That's working beautifully now. Front brake, we bled that, got the little bit of air out of it, and I flushed that as well, so that's got fresh fluid in it as well now. We haven't swapped the chain out yet. I've just got to check the length on that, and all the parts have arrived for the wheel. So today we are going to be putting the wheel back together, putting the new chain on, and then we'll get it back together. We might give it a clean up, we'll see how I feel, and I think that's all I've got to do on it, and then we can send the big old heavy old beast on its way. And if I get time, I'm going to stick an inner tube in that flipping tubeless tyre that I wasted most of my evening on this time last week. Anyway, right, let's get you set up over by the bench and we'll sort that wheel out. Right, back at the operating table. Exhibit A. Now I have discovered a place that sells cups as well now. Unfortunately, not the cups that go in the freewheel. So I haven't managed to find anywhere that sells that bit at all yet. Until we do, the free hubs are pretty much knackered, but this free hub's knackered anyway. In fact, it's completely seized up now, it won't even turn. Anyway, right, back in the box. Just a quick look at the parts. So I can't remember where I ordered them from, but I managed to find the I do know where I ordered them from. I ordered from Giant Parts directly, so these are genuine Giant parts. Even though they've got Chinese written all over them, they are from Giant. Giant's reseller in the UK. So that is a full rebuild kit for the axle, I believe. I haven't tested it yet. That theory. Yeah, it's exactly the same length. And we have, what else have we got? Oh no, I ordered 2. One to go into parts, because they fit most of the others. They fit Bontrager, Specialized, they're all pretty much the standard, as are these as well. There's only 2 sorts. I also got a rebuild kit that came with this as well, so there's a couple of duplicate seals. But this, if I can get it out of the bag, should look something identical to, and it's even got the same serial number, which proves it's a Giant, to that. And if you look, it is exactly the same serial number. So, result, and a nice shiny new bearings there. So, let's get this lot installed and ship this crap out of the way. I'm not firing on all cylinders tonight, I'll be honest. I'm a little bit tired. It's an early start this morning. Cat's out of the bag now anyway. Everybody knows I'm doing Outlaw, so I can talk about it on here a bit more frequently. So it's Outlaw in 3 weeks time. Cat's out of the bag, everybody's found out about it because Outlaw have published swim start times. And my name's cropped up, so obviously that's gained a bit of interest. Right then, so first thing first, we need to get this in. I am going to put a bit of anti-seize on there because they're not going to come undone, but it just makes sure it doesn't seize up, because these can be an absolute pig to get out. Now, one thing I'm not sure about is whether I need a shim on it, because it does come with a shim, and I can't remember seeing a shim on this one, to be honest. So I'm kind of the opinion we don't need a shim. Now, unless there's one stuck to here that I didn't spot. Might very well be one stuck. There you go. So there was a shim stuck to there. So we'll put that over there, because sometimes the shims are made specifically for the manufacturing tolerances on here, so they'll be measured and then a shim will be shipped with it. Possibly, maybe, I might be over exaggerating the quality of some of these parts, but let's not take any risks. This is the shim that came with it. So that's the shim that will be installed. Same again, just a little bit of anti-seize just to stop it from rotting itself in there, because there are several different types of metal kicking around here. I didn't like how crunchy that felt, to be honest. Now we got a little rag in here we can get all that lot out with. I don't know how muck and grease has got behind there apart from the muck and grease, and it is pretty pitted as well, so I'm wondering whether somebody's had this off once already and not put it back properly, because there's some pitting in there that looks like it's muck that was underneath this washer that's then been compressed into it. Right, it is a clockwise thread, so you can tighten it up on there and it should self-tighten. I'm not really going to get too excited about tightening it, but just to be on the safe side, most things like this you give them a torque of a 40, but to be honest, what the rider's going to put through it is a lot more than that. Jesus Christ, that was hurting. Hope I've not given myself an hernia. Right, new freewheel installed. Right then, next. Now there's a couple of seals here. I'm not too sure what these are for. That might be to sit on top of that, but there was definitely one missing on there, possibly. That could be that seal there. That could be that seal there. Right, yes, it's okay. I know where all the seals are now. So that is possibly a spare seal now, because we've got a set of these in here as well. So one axle. Always check that they are the same. Lengthwise, pretty much identical. That's good. Centre, if anything, this one's slightly bigger. Centre, could be wrong. That one's as bent as a banana. You can see how bent it is when you look down it. Jesus Christ. It's just that bit there. Right, use that as a reference. Don't forget that. That's important. Right, it'll save you a lot of faffing around if you can get the same number of threads sticking out. So all we need to do is just put that together. These would be great if you could just buy these. They're the cones. So there is actually a serial number on there. So I'm going to keep hold of that one. Which is why I'm taking my time to open these bags. Because it's only really the cones I need. Well, apart from in this case they bent the axle, but the axles don't normally get bent. Right, so one of these has got a taper on it, a bit more of a taper than the other, and it's this one. So I'll put that on there, put that down there, find my pen, and we will write cone on there. So I know that's the serial number for the cone. I know, a little bit anal. Right, so what do we need here? We need some locking nuts. Where are they? I had them at the beginning of there. I'm going to say they were the first bag I picked up. That's interesting. You do actually get a cone as well, so we'll keep hold of that because we don't need that. The cone's okay, but I have had some bikes where the cone's been knackered. Knackered. It's a shame they don't give you that cone. That would be really handy, but you can't buy that cone, and that's usually the cone that goes, the cone of scone. Right, so what I'm going to do now, there's lots of ways you can accurately do this with a thing, but to be honest I don't think we need to go that far. I think by eye we'll do it, because I'm going to have to lock them together as long as they're near. Right. There was a 17, I think, for that bit, and it was a 15, 16, so it did have two sizes. It had a 16 and a 15. That's helpful. Alright, they don't need to be massively taut together, they're not going to come undone. Right then, next thing. This piece. So this is the rubber seal, and that Probably better put it on from this side. Now what you want to do is sit this slightly further down than its finishing thing, and then when you push it on, it will push it back up into its right place. So that's ready now. So what we can start doing is loading these up. Now yes, that was it. So that needs to go into there. So we need to work out where the rubber seal for that one is. It's not that one because we've used that one. It's not that one. Right, I think it's that one. Pretty sure that's the seal that goes in there. Because the other seal, yeah, is still attached to that. So that metal one is the one that goes in there, and then that rubber piece sits over the top of that. So what we're going to need to do is get this out. Check that's okay, and I'll show you how that works. That sits over the top of that and creates a nice seal there to stop the muck and shit from getting in. Right, we need to get some balls in there. So we have some balls. And what we also need is something clean to put. Always put your balls in something clean. Generally find in life it's not a bad thing to do. Right. Let's just give this bowl tray a quick clean out. No contamination. Right. Right. Can you see this? Right. So. Big splodge of grease in there. Get plenty in there. Don't be shy. The reason being is because this is actually going to hold your balls in place. Stop it. Yeah. Another little dob now because I've got a bit of a non-greased bit. Right. So we want 9 in here. Tell me how I know it's 9. It's always 9. 9 on one side, 9 on the other. Don't know why. It's just the way it is. They're 1/4 inch balls. So even on a metric axle, they will still be 1/4 inch balls. And there will be 9 of them. I'm sure there's some complicated mathematical thing you can do and the answer will be 42. But it's one of those things, just accept it. 9 balls. 1/4 inch, even on a metric shaft. You should always know whether your shaft's metric or imperial. Right, so if I count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Job's a good one. So, we now need to put that in. Right, once you get it in, don't get too excited. Get yourself one of these that's hopefully not that small. A little bit bigger than that. What about this one? Nope, too big. We'll get there in a minute. How's about that one? Oh, that looks perfect. Nope, too big. Perfectly too big. You want to get something that gets us... No, that's not even close. It'll be one of those days. Aha, perfect. Nope, it was perfect until it went through the first thread. Ah, that's better. Right, now I think there's, from memory, I think there's a lip, or it bottoms out on the top of the race, so you can't shove it in too far, but don't go right wailing down on it because you're just going to knacker it up. It's just rubber with a bit of metal behind it, and once you've knackered that bit of metal, you're pretty much knackered. Right, now for some reason that's not... Ah, there we go. That is a happy bunny. Right, exactly what I said. As soon as I shoved it down, it's pushed the rubber out of the way, and now it's created a really good seal. So we're just going to turn this over, and I'm going to reposition you, because at this point we need to move to the vise. Right, if you haven't got a vise for this, you can still do it. You just have to do it like I've got it here, but it is going to make it really hard. You're going to have to get somebody to put a spanner on that bottom nut when you do the truing up at the end, because if you don't, you will find the axle will walk, and you don't want the axle to walk because it will affect it when you try to tighten it up. So just make sure that you've got it on the flat of the nut. Right, and what I will do as well is just take it up a tad. Because I don't want it to grate on the vise. So that's spinning smoothly now. Right, we need to get some grease in there. Grease is the word that you heard. It's got move, it's got feeling. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Got to get grease. Oh, remember to grease your discs. It allows for smooth braking. Don't. Trust me, they walk among us, somebody will do that. And it'll be, you told me. Right, so we should have 9 balls left. We have 9 balls left. Right, so this is slightly more awkward to get your balls in because you've got your shaft in the way, and if your shaft's already in, you'll know it's hard to get your balls in. It's always easy to get your balls in before your shaft. Right. Right, how and where do we put these? So there's one more of these to go in. I think it sits around the outside of this. So again, I've got to be careful here. Use the old parts for reference. So it looks like it sits just beyond the thing. But again, you can push this down. It's not got any fancy bits in it. Sometimes they have a keyway in it, so it sits directly on the like the square bit on there, and it'll slide. But this one doesn't. It goes in a bit further than that. So we want to get it as close as we can, and then when we get it tightened up, I'll shove it down. Sure, I'm missing something here. Yep, thought so. Suddenly thought, I'm sure this is supposed to ride on another seal. And that seal we don't have. It's because normally when I do these, I've not got a service kit. I'm actually rebuilding it, and I do try to leave the seals in place because taking them out usually knackers them up. Of course, I've got that much grease on the hands now. I can't open this. Yay! We're in. We're in. Same thing again, put it in with your fingers. There is a lip that it sits against, so don't be ragging down on it. You'll know if you've got it right or wrong because this will hit it and start binding up. Don't worry, I'm going to clean all this lot up because the disc was in a pretty bad state anyway. It was covered in grease. It might actually be under. Actually, it doesn't feel too bad. Mind it is the back wheel. Mind you, the back brake wasn't working at all, so go figure. Right. Oh, that's pretty much perfect. No play at all, flipping heck. That's how much better it is when you actually get a rebuild kit. You've seen me do these before. I've been stood there for hours trying to get those things to flipping well sort themselves out. Right, where's my trusty wrenches? Oops, stick that to there. no, no, yes. So I'm holding the bottom lock nut and tightening this one up. This wheel's really buckled. That's okay. I'm just going to see if we can take a little bit of tension out of it. Because we bite, as you bite down on this nut, it invariably, so I'm tightening it back up against that one the other way. Can't feel any play, that's really good. I'm really pleased with that actually. Spot on. That's running really well. Right, while we're here and I've got it mounted like this, let's sort out this buckled wheel. Where is the... Right, I'm going to stop you because I'm going to have to go and look for something I haven't seen since we moved. We're back. Right, no luck. Somewhere I've got a heavy base magnetic dial gauge, and I'm pretty sure I haven't seen it since we moved up here, so I have no idea where it's ended up. It's quite possible I have fetched it up, just looking for it, because this is a box of stuff that would have come up at the same time. I'm pretty sure I've probably fetched it up and I've probably stuck it to something metal in a comedy fashion, but I am absolutely buggered if I know where it is, so that's a bit annoying because that's rather a useful piece of kit, and I can't find it unless it's got chucked in here. No, I think that's it, unfortunately. It's a bit of a bugger. So we'll have to do this on the bike. The idea was I was going to get the dial gauge out and just sit it on the rim and just let it run round, and then I could adjust it. I haven't really got anything else. Oh, there's a couple more boxes up there I've just spotted. Anyway, right, we'll see if we can come up with a solution. Right, just thought I had an idea what it might be and I was wrong, so we'll just we'll carry on as if nothing happened. Where's the fat one? Fat one there. You've seen me do this a million times. That one there. Helps if you get it lined up, because if you don't it doesn't go in. I don't know why that's not going in. Oh, there we go. Just wanted a gentle bit of persuasion. That's interesting. Can't remember if I chucked it in here or not. Yes, I did. Oh, that's nice and clean. Yeah, don't leave things in there for too long. There we go. That's all. There it is. So again, you know about the drill with this. Wind it backwards until it goes click. There we go. Safe to proceed. Chain whip. Torque wrench. Talk amongst yourselves. I was kind of hoping that thing was going to be in there. I have no idea. That's really bugging me now because there's nothing else left down in the... That's on the wrong way round, just for good measure. There we go. That went on that easy. We already know this bike's going to get abused. We'll make sure the skewer's got plenty of grease on it. I think the skewer might be slightly bent, but I'm not, that doesn't really matter, to be honest. It doesn't have an effect on it at all, in the slightest. I feel some of these spokes are pretty loose. Yeah, it's a little bit of a bend on it. Don't worry too much about it. Pass that through, without getting any more grease on. Right then, let's stick this in the frame. Bring you back. Right then, you'll see I've already taken the chain off. Remember to take the shim out and look in my box because they're like gold dust. Of course I put the camera on the wrong side because I always stand this side round. So the camera should have been on the other side. There's not much room, so if you look, they've got really deep cup seating areas to try and get around the fact that they aren't through hubs. That seems to be the fashion nowadays with these. So what it does make is it very nearly, come on, in you go. It makes it very awkward to get these things in. So we'll spin it up like this. I seem to find that this is the best way to do it at the moment. And then undo it a bit, move it to where you need it, and then fasten it up. But make sure that it is up. Right, that does need tightening up. Just check it's spinning all right. The brakes are making a right old noise there. Right, so we do need to centre them. They are miles off, but if they've had no fluid in them, I'm not really surprised. Yeah, they're pushing the disc across. Right, we'll sort them out. Let's get you closer. Right, first thing we need to do is get a strap on there. If I can find one that's short. These are all that might do it. I'll just put a strap on there. The idea is that it tightens the brake up. I'm not going to put it on yet because I need to slacken that off. But when I pull that down, it'll pull the brake or it'll clamp it onto there, but we're not ready for that yet. Are you paying attention? Yeah, right, so I've seen loads of people do different videos on this. This is how I do it. Not going to argue about it. I do it like this. It works. And I've got a couple other fallback techniques if this doesn't work. Make sure that before you start shoving your Allen key in these, that they are free of muck and crap and all sorts, because this one doesn't feel like it. I'm not getting that in very deep at all, to be honest. Right, let me get a pick and clean that out. The temptation to go in there and ragging it around, avoid it. Yeah, that's, you can see that's full of shit. I don't know if you can see what's coming out of that, but can you see that? Yeah, it wasn't going in very far at all. There's that's better. I think this one's the same as well. Yeah, that was not as bad, but that's what was kind of giving me away. That didn't feel like I was going in all the way. If you don't get your Allen keys in all the way, it's not good things will happen. You'll end up wrecking your Allen keys. You'll end up wrecking the screw. And if you haven't got a supply of these, like I have, you're going to be knackered. Right, so you want to make sure it's nice and slack to start off with, and you'll make sure it's loose and it will move around and it's not jammed. Now I don't like these because they've got these flipping silly washers on. Personally I don't think you should have them on, but I think it's how they make some of these frames fit the standard mounting kits, because it is a standard kit. So first piece of advice, get it somewhere near. Look down the back of it and do a visual and just see how close you are. Now we've got a bit of a gap because these brake pads are worn, but they're not super worn, so they're probably only about a third of the way through their life, so I'm not going to replace them. Right, fasten that on. Now, so that's clamped down on that. That's bolted it. You'll find the wheel doesn't move. Now, we're not going to get this right first time because I slacken these bolts off so far, so as we pull it down it's going to move it, but just a little bit at a time. Don't be tempted to go wailing down on it. So just snug it up. Snug it up. The reason being is if you start going in too heavy, it'll actually move the caliper with the bolt. So what you're trying to do is get an even amount of tension to resist the turning momentum that you're applying from the other end. So if you take it down slowly, you've got more of a chance of it not moving. But the chance of getting it right first time, because what will generally happen is you'll find that the pads move around once they start to get closer to where they're supposed to be. So it might take a couple of attempts. If that doesn't work, you can try the pieces of paper down either side, because all you're looking for basically is an air gap. So if I knock this off now, let's see how far, bearing in mind it was permanently touching on one side, we'll see how far we are now. Right, it's still this leading edge here, it's this side, this top piece here needs to come that way. So we're just going to slacken these off again, just so it's enough to move. And what we'll do is we'll manually adjust that now. Not like that we won't, because it's not slackened off enough. Right, same again, clamp this down. Just do a visual inspection again, and it will probably move. It's worse as well if you've got uneven wear on your pads before you start. Just be careful as well with these, because it might feel like you're putting quite a lot of force, but they tend to have quite heavy duty thread lock on, so you might be thinking that you're actually getting close to the bottom, but you're not. So I've just slackened it off again. There you go, perfect. There is a slight buckle in the disc, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. So we'll do a couple of stops. So I said you won't get it first time, but you'll get it second time. There you go. Right, so before we go any further, I'm probably going to have to grab the pads out anyway, because I did notice they were contaminated. And everybody says, oh, you just contaminated them. They were already contaminated. This disc was absolutely covered in oil. While we're here, we'll just give that a quick wipe as well. Right, I'll just give it a first pass with that. This is degreaser. It's not brake cleaner, but I find if you just get, when they're this bad, if you get a quick pass with this first, it tends to work a bit better. Right, let's get the smelly stuff on it there. Same again. Give it a quick wipe off. So that's 111 trichloroethylene or whatever it is that the brake cleaner is, I can't remember. It's nasty stuff anyway. Looking a bit better already. Just try and get that grease out in the middle. While I'm here, I might as well give that a quick fet like that, so I'll be able to do it later when we get the washer on it. I've got some decent cleaning products that I use to clean the bikes before they go in the clean workshop area now. So it's a fairly tried and tested product set I've got. Right, I need to spin it around now so I can do the ooh, that sounds meaty. Right, let's spin it round, let's get that chain on. Back, right. Quite a useful little holder that. Right, existing chain. Flipping long existing chain. Yeah, I had to buy a new one of these. I got a Dior. So it's lower down the range, but the thing is with them, they are flipping tough. So, genuine Shimano chain. This has got an SRAM chain on it. I would say the Dior chain's slightly stronger than that. But we'll see how we go with it anyway. I was surprised. I've seen a lot of them selling e-bike chains, and I've not really taken a notice. But then when I looked at the model number that they were selling it as, it was just a normal chain. And if you go onto some of the Dior's things, it says blah 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 10-speed mountain bike and e-bike. So all they've done is just taken the chain and added e-bike to it, which is a bit well, it's not a bit naughty, but right, let's measure that one up. Right. So long. I don't think I've ever had a chain that long. So I've just got one link to take out. Well, two links technically, an outer and an inner. Just punch that through. I need to find a use for them because I chuck loads of them away. Right. Make sure we've got the right chain. Right. Drop this down onto the bottom now, which is where it needs to be. So always set your gear thing to the bottom for this, it just makes life easier. Try and work out which way over this tab you're supposed to feed it. Can't remember if that's on or off. I think it's this has got a clutch on it, as I discussed last time. I think it goes over. Pretty sure it goes over. These jockey wheels are a bit of a mess, but don't worry, we'll clean them when we give it a clean. I'm going to have to clean it. I can't genuinely send it back looking like this. Plus it's a friend of a friend's bike, so they don't know the whole thing about I don't clean bikes. So. Oh, look at the state of them bloody scissors. I think they need a good whack with an hammer, them. So who's made a mess of them? Right, so remember we went through this last time. I don't know if I showed you how. Oh, would it help if I'm actually trying to line it up behind the. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see it's got an extra bit on it. The idea is that you snap that bit off. So let's get it. Show us what you're doing. That's as close as I dare get you. Right, so we're just going to drive that pin in. And I think I said in the other video when I do one of these, you'll feel it click as it goes in. So it'll click every time it passes a ridge. That's the first ridge. That's an easy ridge. Oops. Don't come out. When it passes a ridge, it does float back in again, so it's loose. Right, so that's another ridge. Right, and we should be somewhere near now. So just check that it is flush. Check that the link moves. If you do it gently and you just let it just drop into place, you shouldn't have to adjust it. So I didn't have to adjust it then. Of course I can't find any pliers when I need them. That's because they're in the grip bit. That's because they're there, and I've put my other pliers away. And that's why, because I put them away in the wrong place. Right, so all you need to do is just grab hold of the chain, try and support it so you're not bending the chain. Just give it a little tweak and it comes off. The trouble is I'm trying to hold the chain so you can see, which is why I was making a right mess of that. Anybody who wants to know, this is a fat spanner. Come on, focus. Come on, make an effort. Yeah, it's just it's a really good one. I've had it years. I must have had it about 20 years. It's just really good. It comes with a nice little gadget for holding the chain in the right place while you're doing all this. It's just really strong. Comes with a spare centre pin. I've never had to use it, so it's really good. Quality product. Right then, let's zoom you back a bit and you can see what's going on. Let's see if we got these, if these gears are all right. Right, so we're catching a bit there. Right, it's lifting up, so we need to bring it down. There's no adjuster on that. Somebody's mullered that. There's no adjuster on it. I'm pretty sure that should have an adjuster on it. That's not going to be helping for starters. Right, let's just slacken that off and have a look at that. Allen key, shift it in here. Not too fussed about this. It's a 4mm. Come on, Shimano, make your mind up. This is the kind of bullshit I expect from SRAM. Not you. Right, this should have an adjuster in there, so I'm betting when I take that out I'm going to find threads. I'll be honest, I can't tell. Might have to look this one up. See, there's an adjuster up there. Nope, there are no threads. If there were threads, they've been drilled out. Well, let's just try that again. Put stander in hand. might have actually adjusted itself now. Pretty impressed with that. That's working. Very good. Let's just check the front one. Oops. Put something in the middle. Check it properly. Down. Yeah, not bad. Cool. Right, job's a good one. So that's done, that's done, that's done, that's done. That's actually working, so I'm not going to touch that. So all it needs now is a clean up. So quite impressed with that. Oh, there is one more thing we need to do. I forgot about it, nearly forgot. And I need to do this before we clean as well. Come on, flipping thing. Right. Let's just wind that up. Right, let me bring you this. Right, they look pretty scabby. So, we're going to do something about that. I'm just going to move Maz's wheel out of the way and look for something that I threw out. Probably shouldn't have. With that. That's the right, oh, there we go. Found it. Right. WD-40. Careful not to get it on the discs. Right, you can use silver foil for this, or I'm going to use a little bit of light grade wire wool. They are pitted and got some imperfections on, and they are just surface, so I think if we just give it a nice gentle thing over. They're not cashmere or anything before anybody starts moaning and saying I'm damaging the surface. I'm not. The chromium is way stronger than this wire wool. All I'm doing is just knocking off the high spots on the rust. The pitting and the marks still going to be there. It's damaged. It's got a way in. All I'm doing is just taking off the bit that's going to rip the seal to pieces. To be honest, I'm surprised for such a high-end, expensive bike that they've got what are essentially bog standard shitty Suntour. Sorry, did I say shitty? Apologies if this is your bike, but I'm just being a realist here. The Suntours are kind of the lowest of the low. I think they're owned by SRAM, but they're not brilliant. So all I'm doing is I'm feeling it, and I'm trying to get rid of all the high spots. There's some on the other side. In fact, the other side's worse. So if I get the other side looking anyway like this side, I'll be happy. I couldn't see what the inside looked like. I just ploughed into it. Try and go up and down in the direction of travel. Don't be going from side to side unless you really need to work on a bad bit and you can't get the thing in there. So some of these bits up here I'm going to have to work like that, but then go up and down afterwards. So you can see that it's left the marks on from it, but they are a lot fainter now. I've seen people do this with silver foil. It does work, you know, and what it does is it leaves a bit of a silver foil in the hole, but honestly it just gets blown out the first time you ride it outside. Fortunately I can't get into that bit inside there, which I suspect there's probably a lot more pitting in there. But what I'll do with this is when I've done it, I've got some I've got some butter, some suspension butter. I'll clean these off and then I'll run a bit of suspension butter in to see if I can just help them out a bit. I think that's actually it. That's not looking bad. Quite pleased with that, actually. Right, suspension butter. Is that it? That's dot grease. There we go. Suspension butter. It's probably just normal grease, it's just something else that they sell muppets like me. So both these are fork grease. I could have used either of them, but this one is particularly aimed at rubbing on your stanchions. Now I'm going to put it on and then I'm going to wipe it off lightly with a cloth, because what you don't want is a load of shit sticking to it, because then that'll just become a grinding paste. But it'll help, it'll put a sheen on it. It'll get into all the nooks and crannies. That's where I should be out hooning it around. It's absolutely gorgeous out there tonight. Should have been out on the Ducati. Instead I'm stuck in here fixing flipping e-bikes. E-bikes! Right, let me guess, we're missing a valve on the valve cover. It's a good job I bought 50 million valve covers, isn't it? Why did you buy so many valve covers? Because I've got bikes that come, I haven't got them on, and it really offends my OCD. Right. I'm not going to touch that because I know they're a nightmare anyway. Right then, so I'm going to take this down, give this a clean, and that's it. So, right, hopefully the quality of the videos is getting better now, so we don't upset Mr. Twatface, Angry Jojo Psycho, whatever his name is, Cycle Jojo, who's only ever made 3 videos, and they were about water skiing, oddly. He wants to try and come and work on some of these bloody bikes instead of faffing about in water. And that's the problem. Look, the point is with a lot of these is I don't get nice, clean, brand new bikes coming in here like goes off to bike shops. I get the shit that nobody else will touch. And I'll have a go at fixing it instead of just saying, that's a write-off or you need a new part. I will try and mend the part. Okay, sometimes you can't mend it. Sometimes you can make it a little bit better by doing a little bit of a tweaking on it. And this one, okay, this one did need a lot of new parts. But I'll tell you one thing, a lot of people would have said don't bother with that wheel, just scrap it and buy a new wheel, because they won't faff about with them, and that's it. So jobs are good in there. Okay, I can hear you all shouting at the screen, I didn't true the wheel up, I'm going to do it now. I was trying to avoid having to do it. Right. That's quite a long way out of true over there. Right. Let's see which one of these fits. Be a 3.3. It is a 3.3. think somebody else has been here before me. This one's definitely rounded over. Oh, nearly there. Don't move. When you get to that age, you spend most of your time dropping stuff. Right, so slackening off this side, tightening up this side. I think this spoke has been replaced with a wider one, which is probably why it's buckled. Whoever it was didn't do it properly. Nearly. Right, so these two mainly. Get in there, nearly there. Slacken that one off. Is that the big one again? No. Nearly there. Near, so close. That's pretty good. Now job's a good one.